right. Hey, guys, what's going on? My name's Chris Hawkes, and this is your best life defined. Let's go ahead and get right on this thing. I learned a lot of things while was working in a federal prison, but one of the things I really learned by working with guys is that no one can care about you more than you. And I know that seems like an obvious statement, but what it leads to is the fact that I used to spend my time counseling inmates about how they can escape the trap they're in. Because, in case you don't understand the criminal justice system, the criminal justice system is a series of traps that basically creates a situation that you can't escape. All right. Now, some people do escape it to an extent. Okay, there are people who actually have encounters with the criminal justice system, and they never, and then they manage to step away, take a new path, and find a new way to get through life. Right, that doesn't involve a life of crime, but when you think about it, what it comes down to is at that point for those individuals, and let me back up here because the same thing is true for those of you who are not in prison. I mean, the reality is that in order for you to achieve your highest level of success and your highest level of performance, you have to start by making that a point of value in your life. In other words, you have to choose that as a direction for your life. And this is where the whole idea about social media and distraction comes in. See, I don't use my phone. I've noticed since I got off of Facebook that my phone is not in my hand nearly as much, and that gives me time to think about other things. And that's the trick. Is that if you are allowing yourself to be distracted by things that don't enhance your life, you don't have time to be focused on caring about you. And that's the burden that a lot of guys face in prison and out of prison. Now, let's break this down for you. I want to break this down because somehow or another this message is getting lost as if it's some confusing, mystery. The reason my life is where it is right now is because I took the time to care about it enough to devise a plan for bringing it to where it is. See, I was sitting in that same box just like you. I had a house over there and a car over there, and I had the yard, and I had that garage full of stuff, and we had that house with all those rooms full of stuff. And had I chosen to, I could have sat still on that platform in that box and never done another thing, just maintained it, and eventually, because of the job I had and the job my wife had, we could have retired, and then we just could have continued mowing the grass, and we could have continued cleaning the garage and cleaning the house and switching out the furniture, and eventually we would run out of energy, and then those things would kind of drop off, and then we would die. See, what happened for me and my wife, or my wife and I, is that we decided to start caring about what tomorrow looked like. And I know some of you are like all into your life, and I dig that, I get that, but the reality is that we did that. Why wouldn't we choose something different, something new? And that's what we did. We said, oh my goodness, I'm really scared about this, but let's get a fifth wheel. We're done with this. This isn't working for us. Let's change our life so that we can do something new and we can take our life in a new direction. See, the life you're living now, I don't give a shit. I don't care how great you think your life is. There is a better option out there. And that's the thing right there. But the problem most people have is we have been trained to get to this point and go, ooh. And it's not even that. What we haven't been trained to do is to realize that money is our key to freedom. In other words, the more cash you have, the more time you have. The more cash you have, the more choices you have. And what happens to most of us is we start working, we have a little bit of money, we get a better job, we buy some shit, we have a little bit of money, we get a better job, we buy some shit, we have a little bit of money, and then we get to a point where we buy some shit and we don't have any money. And the only person that can care or that can actually affect change in that situation is you. Now, how would you do that? How do you do that? Well, when we started looking at our life, and I was living that exact life, had the house, car, the kids, while the kids were growing up, but had all that work, all that stuff, and the thing that I can say is I wasn't having all that much fun. So what I did was I said, okay, let's stop the leaking. We're going to stop leaking money first and foremost. Stop spending just for a minute. Let's define this, because we had money going on earbuds and on equipment and on this and on that with no real defined direction. Well, then we picked a direction. We decided, well, what do we want to do? Well, we want to see the world, or at least the United States. All right, how can we do that? Well, we could do it from home at a high expense, or we could liquidate all this fun we was having, taking care of all this shit that isn't worth anything, and then we could use all those resources to go out and go on this adventure. And it's only because we began caring about that, because we began telling a story and talking about it to the point it became real to us. It became more valuable to us than that big ass house, all those dusty ass boxes and all that shit we had around us and all the things we were spending our time doing. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, hanging out on the beach is a lot more fun than sweeping sidewalks. A lot more fun than raking leaves. I mean, that was the thing, the measure of it, right? Do you like doing that? That was what we said. No, not really. Do you like running a vacuum cleaner for 3 hours every Saturday? Dusting and dusting and dusting? And the reason that we're sitting where we are right now is because we chose to care about it more than anyone else. And we took responsibility and said, you know what? I can do better than this. Come on. Let's fish more. Let's hike more. Let's get in shape. Let's not be so overweight. Let's do something amazing. And once I picked that point and decided what it was, guess what happened? It rolled. I'm sitting in a fifth wheel, and granted, I'll tell you, I'll be the first one to tell you, it's not a perfect life. No one lives a perfect life, but I have a lot more access to my life than I bet you do. What will you do tomorrow? What will you do today? That's what this whole story is about. Even if you don't like it. The point is that I can sit up here and I can talk all day, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk and talk and talk, and I'm going to continue this podcast, not only for you, for me, because this is going to go somewhere. Someone is going to say, wait a minute, I see what he's saying, right? What he is saying is pick something to care about in your life more than anything else, and then focus all your resources on it. And the only criteria is that it makes your life better. That's a simple fact. That's as easy as it gets. The question is, are you ready to do that? And don't worry, as you've seen from my last podcast, I can't make you do shit, okay? I cannot make you change anything about your life. So you can get over all that idea that I'm trying to push you around and get my nose in your business. I can't do anything about it. This is on you. But I can tell you that I was in your business. I know what it's like to wake up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, slap your shoes on, get a cup of coffee, pack a lunch, and then turn around, head out the door, and realize halfway to work you forgot your lunch. Sit there in the office and watch people run around you kissing the boss's butt, and you're busting your tail doing your work, and they get the praise, they get the raises, they get the appreciation and all the attention. Thank God for that 12-pack of beer or that bottle and a half of wine every night, right? Oh, was that a low one? Oh, man, come on. Where are you going? Where are you headed, and are you caring about it enough to take you there? I know this is dry for you because you're not ready for it. If you're not ready for it, shut it off. I'll be here. Come back in a month. Come back in a year. I'll still be sitting here. And guess what? The story will have changed, because in that amount of time, this will have become something more. That book will be written, it will be published. The second book will be written, it will be published. And in the meantime, people will finally figure it out. I don't want anything from you. I'm trying to give you something, because it's in giving you what I've learned that my life gets better. And some people can't see that concept. But it doesn't change the fact that it's true, right? It doesn't change the fact that I'm going to continue doing this, and somebody's life is going to be changed for it, and it's going to change my life as well. Because you can't help when you give good gifts, you get good things in return. That's just the way it is. Like it, don't like it. But if you want to live your best life, if you want to wake up every day to a life that has something in it that you are friggin' excited about, you have to care about that thing long enough to make it happen. That's a ticket right there. I mean, that's as simple as it gets. Pick it. What's the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen if you decide you want to spend more time fishing? You're tired of never getting your fishing pole out and going fishing. And you wake up tomorrow morning and you say, fishing. How am I going to go fishing? How am I going to go fishing? And you cook that idea in your head until it becomes reality. And before you know it, guess what? You're fishing. Right? That's what it's all about. Oh, and just so you know, you are running out of time. See, it doesn't matter to me how you feel about this life you're living. It doesn't matter to me whether you love it or you hate it or you don't. It doesn't change anything in my life. But the point I want to make here is that if you spend your time to doing whatever you do today, like it or not, you will never have another chance to do that, to use that time again. It is gone. Now, even worse than that, or even more scary than that, is what happens if you've only got a couple months left? 60 days. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having 60 days, how you would stop and focus on every second of your life? Tell me you don't only have 60 days. Tell me you don't have 2 months left. Tell me you have more than 2 months. That's the point I'm making here, right? So how about you stop allowing the world to distract you and dictate your thoughts? And you start being the one who cares the most about your life. That's really what it's about. That's really what it's about. Don't want to hear it, don't like it, it's not entertaining enough. I don't care. Doesn't matter. The story's still true. Hey, stay tuned. Listen, I've got some more stuff coming up. We're going to talk about what's coming with COVID-19 and not only that, but the economic impact of that. You want to get my take on that one? I got a couple other really great ideas for podcasts that's coming up, but we're going to get into some stuff here. I hope you'll stay tuned. For those of you who are following me or you've just popped on the channel, I'm working this, and I'm working this for you. I'm working this because I see the value in doing this. I see the value in sharing this story, because I got to tell you, no matter what you think of my life, it's not a bad way to go. I mean, I'm not inviting you to become an RVer. What I'm inviting you to do is to take a look at the things in your life and ask you a simple question. Ask yourself, why? What is the value this particular thing adds to my life? For me, it was lawn. For me, I woke up one day and I'm mowing the lawn. I'm thinking, no one eats lawn. I should be growing tomatoes. If I'm out here every day, every Saturday, working my butt off for 3 hours, it should be for something I can eat, right? But it's concepts and ideas like that where we move away from the distractions. We shut that noise off long enough to start looking at our life and asking ourselves questions. That's where this thing grows. That's where you find and you get to taste that flavor of something new and the idea that you can be more than you are right now. And that's the ticket. It's about seeing something else to explore. You are never done until it's really done. So keep that in mind. Keep checking it out. I understand this is tough. I understand I'm still working on it, but I'm not giving up on you. So until next time, just remember, my name is Chris Hawkes, and today's your day. Make it a good one.